Hey gang, Soundwaves TV, and this may be my favorite episode we've done in a long time. We are going to show you our deep love and passion for vinyl. We're calling this episode Drop the Needle. This week we'll celebrate Record Store Day from Streetlight Records in San Jose. Also on our next Mass Debate, we'll ask the question, what artists crossed genres the best? This is Soundwaves TV.
Hey everybody, welcome to Soundwaves TV, and it is my national damn holiday. It is Record Store Day.
What does your shirt say there?
Yep.
It's not hoarding, it's vinyl. That's great.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's true. And we've, raided our vaults and we pulled out some. I said, hey, bring down one or two of your favorite vinyls. And this is what we ended up with because you just can't pick two,
You really can't.
Yeah.
It feels like choosing children. I was like, all right, I'll grab a handful then. That's what that means.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is just the first batch. We've got like Miracle at 34th Street downstairs because we've got the trucks back. We're going to come up with a big bag.
That's so true. All right, are we going to talk about a couple of
I mean, we can.
favorites?
We can. It's really weird Record Store Day now because we jumped on this vinyl thing years ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now everybody else did, and that's cool. But what happened is like now that plant burned down, and so vinyl's harder to get, so it's more of a prestige. So the prices go up, and you're like, this isn't really fun anymore.
Yeah.
And yet, when you put one of those bad boys on and you listen to it, and it sounds so good, and you're just like, all is forgiven. I'm good.
No,
I'm good.
it's true. And that's what it's what I feel bad about for artists right now, especially a lot of local artists we've talked to, is like they really want to do the vinyl thing, but you can't get vinyl sometimes for like 9 months or even a year.
There are artists that delay their release by 9 months or a year just because they want to put out the vinyl at the same time. The Dolly Rots are good friends.
That's right.
Like they just had, like, I got to listen to their new album, and I'm like, this is great. When's it coming out? And they're like, October. Why? Because of the vinyl.
You have a Dolly Rots signed somewhere in here, don't you?
I do. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. Here we go.
Nice.
I remember when you got this in the mail, you were so jacked about it.
I was, and then I went down when I saw them, when I hung out with them, and they all signed it, including little Daisy, their daughter. So
Little Daisy Dolly Rot.
Yep.
That's so cool. They treat their fans so well because they do a lot of signing stuff and wrapping it up and personalizing. I just think that's really, really neat.
So when did the single mentality take place? Because when you get an album, you sit down and you listen to the album.
Yeah.
But then we got to a point where there was the 45 singles that have been around forever, like in jukeboxes and stuff. So that's one thing. But then they had the CD singles. Whatever happened to just sitting down and putting on a record and listening to it?
Spotify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and there's nothing better than putting this on and just letting it roll, And
It's like watching a movie. It's a full experience. The songs are in the order that they were picked to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because like this Janis Joplin Greatest Hits, I have multiple of hers that are live too, and you hear like her rumbling and chatting between tracks. And I love that because the conversation is just continual and there's no stop. And so you feel like you're on this ride with her.
Yeah.
And she always did that live. She would always change the lyrics. And whoever she was having sex with, she would tell stories about the next day. And speaking of Record Store Day, by the way, this is Record Store Day 2021. This was 50th anniversary. This was a picture disc that actually Mr. Dennis Willis got for me.
Love that.
Isn't that amazing?
Okay, look, that's the thing. I buy vinyl for people.
That's like your love language.
It is. It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. I mean, almost everybody here has gotten vinyl from me, just because, like, hey, it's a birthday, whatever. Here you go, Joe, or whatever.
November 4th, D.
Yeah.
I got you covered.
Thank you,
covered.
Noted.
How about you, Morris?
You know what? I love, collecting vinyl, and it's weird because I go all over the place, when it comes to from genre to genre. But I really don't even think of it, as I always think of it just as one thing. Mm-hmm. So 1 minute, I'm buying a Joy Division, record way back in the day, and I bought a new copy of it because my original copy was that I Sorry, Derek.
Yeah.
Stole from him back in the 80s. I didn't mean to steal. I just did. I forgot. I accidentally didn't give it back.
Yes, you accidentally acquired it.
I accidentally acquired it for a very long time, you
Yeah.
know. But what I was going to bring in, and maybe we can just show it on the screen, was, of course, you know, Prince's 1999.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite albums of life, because like you guys were just saying a second ago, even though all the songs are different, there's 11 great songs on there. It's like, did he just write all of these songs in the same day or something? Because they're so cohesive. What you were saying, Steve, about how it's like you put on the record and you just let it roll, and you're hearing just a moment in time in his life. And in my mind, you know, people talk about Purple Rain, people talk about, you know, Sign of the Times. I think that 1999 by Prince is the best. The best album he did, because it's just a journey of sound. You know,
I agree with that. Yeah,
everything he was thinking about at that time really came out. You know, the other album I was going to bring, band from the 80s. Imagine that, me bringing an album in from somebody from the.
What a shock.
we got a few here.
An 80s thrash band that got a tiny bit of love, you know, but they didn't really, you know, blow up, but they did. Because they came out when I was still in high school, or actually I just graduated high school. This thrash 80s band called Sentinel Beast, and just still one of my favorite 80s thrash bands of all life.
And it's interesting listening to you talk, because like you grow up at a time when there's vinyl and you buy that vinyl, and then it moves on to different formats, and it's never quite as special, you know? And even if you buy a new one because your old one is all beat to hell.
Yeah.
You're still getting it on vinyl. It's like you're getting a nice coat of paint on it or something.
I think
like
artwork
that.
is a big deal.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Just
like,
to be
you
able to
got this
hold it.
thing in your hand, you know. I mean, there's nothing more important than busting out your brand new 12-inch of Debbie Gibson. You know what I mean?
I wasn't sure where it was going there for a second.
I saw your eyebrow out of the corner of my eye. Like, bing.
You know, you've got Electric Youth in your hand.
He just had to say it. He just had to.
He's just going to keep going now.
Just had to brag. That's what that was.
But I think a lot of it has to do with the artwork. You got this, so much, you know, beyond. I don't want to say beyond the music, but and a very important part of it all was just holding this thing you just bought, and you own it. It's yours, and you know you're constantly looking at the liner notes and all that stuff. I was one of those music geeks that was constantly reading the liner notes. You know,
definitely.
Who the heck is Bernie Gredman mastering?
Speaking of, there's nothing better
Look at
than a
that.
good vinyl box set.
There you go.
And I actually have
Absolutely.
to shout out these two boys, because they gave this to me for Christmas, and it may be one of my most prized possessions now.
That's
Because
cool.
Almost Famous is the best soundtrack. I will fight you over it. And it has everything in it, but also including like a book and all of these stories and all of this stuff, and like to hold it. Right? It's like, no, this is mine. Nobody can ever have it. If the house burns, I'm grabbing this. You know, it really is such a treasure, and it holds it so close to you, and I love that.
Well, the music, it's like a snapshot of, especially when you've got an album. Like I'm going to use Dennis's Band on the Run as a stunt Band on the Run, because mine's framed at home, because I met Denny Lane and got him to sign it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
when that opportunity came up for me to meet Denny Lane and have him sign this album, this stand-in album here, but Band on the Run is an album that it was like my first rock and roll album that I ever bought with my own money, and it has seen and done everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and when
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No,
Am I holding the right one?
whatever you're thinking, you're right.
The answer is yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Yep.
But when the opportunity came up to meet Denny and have him sign it for me, I'm kind of like, holy shit, this thing is it's chewed up and it's scruffed and it's just looks nasty. Should I go out and buy another one? And I'm like, fuck no, man. This is my history, right? This is me right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I told him that, and he's kind of like, oh yeah, because he knows,
yeah, of course
and we
he
all
knows.
know. That's what it's the power of music. We talk about it all the time, but this is better than just listening. You can listen to a song on the radio and it affects you and it's great and it puts you back there, but to have that in your hand, in your possession, it's just, there really is nothing like it.
And it speaks to who you are. Like these
Absolutely.
tell the story of your life, right? I mean, and I just want to, the last thing I'll say is like, remember that buying these things, they support the artist in a very real way.
Yes.
I was just in New Orleans and I went to Preservation Hall, which, by the way, if you've never gone, you must go. Literally there since the 50s to preserve the art of jazz. And you go in there, and unfortunately, I was going to film it for Soundwaves, but they don't allow you to have cameras in there. But when we came out, we'd just seen the most incredible jazz musicians on the planet. And we grabbed some vinyl because everything goes back into preserving the art of jazz.
Awesome. Nice.
And so I just wanted to, I brought this. I haven't even got to open it yet. I just got home, but I brought this just to remind everybody that this is real. You know, when you buy this, you put back money into the artist's pocket.
What an awesome segue, because we're going to play a video from this guy.
There you go.
Sean
Shawnee
Bivens.
B.
Fresh.
And we usually skew to the more aggressive side of his catalog, but this is pretty awesome too.
That's badass, dude.
This
It
is
is
his other
badass.
project. And again, you know, you buy this and the artist gets that money directly,
Yeah.
you know? So let's do it. This is Electro Hop. This is Shawnee B. Fresh.
Molecular structure will make you wanna run for cover. Got the skills, the real deals. There'll never be another. Be fresh, a perpetual motion of the funk. Mechanic shaking and breaking and causing industry panic. You know I'm ticking and talking inside the beat. I got you slipping and dipping. Now slide your feet. Come on, tell me who is the man that can rock your party plan? No refusing to stand. Don't you wanna be a fan of the freshest man on the planet? Make you feel the skill. I'll never take it for granted. So if you got a boom box, baby, turn it up. Give me the microphone and watch me burn it up. Cause I'm a sure shot, now give it all you got. With this electric boogie turning and burning, we keep it hot like a tea kettle. And I rock like heavy metal from the nerds and the birds in every single ghetto. This electro shock, we got the ladies living on our jock. You never stop it when it's time to rock. You know you loving this electro shock. This electro shock, we got the ladies living on our jock. You never stop it when it's time to rock. You know you loving this electro shock. Yeah, I got your bebop from punk rock to hip hop, and I don't stop. Body rock, I wreck shop. Took you back to the 80s with the ladies that was the flyest in the place to be. You know they wanna try us. We cutting and cutting just like a C-section. We keep you popping and strutting this Shawnee B section. I'm DG to the SB. You know who the best be. When it comes to making funky beats, you cannot test me. MPC, Lin Drum, 808, DMX, master of the funk. So if you wanna flex, you better bring an army with you when I let these lyrics hit you. Listen to the rhyme I spit you, boy. You know I gotta sit you down when I come to town. Make the girls shake it around. You know my beat will pound. You know we got you moving and grooving. We the bass patrol. You know my voice it be soothing, make you lose control. Come on. This electro shock, we got the ladies living on our jock. You never stop it when it's time to rock. You know you loving this electro shock. This electro shock, we got the ladies living on our jock. You never stop it when it's time to rock. You know you loving this electro shock. The drum machine breakdown. Shawnee B. Fresh. Shawnee B. Fresh. Yeah, I'm harder than titanium. I'm all up in your cranium. I'm blacker than the average panther. Vibranium. I'm battle tested and manifested upon the mic. When the others rested, I stayed invested in what you like. I'm a machine. Sit back, it's time to rock you. Amaze and shock you. The man they flock to. I'm the freshest. Now can you make the connection? Raw dog, the mic, baby, no protection. This electro shock, we got the ladies living on our jock. You never stop it when it's time to rock. You know you loving this electro shock. This electro shock, we got the ladies living on our jock. You never stop it when it's time to rock. You know you loving this electro shock. This electro shock, we got the ladies living on our jock. You never stop it when it's time to rock.
You're watching Soundwaves TV. That was Electroshock by our boy, Shawnee B. Fresh. What you can't see is there are several Shawnee B. Fresh records on this table because we love him so much. He's definitely our boy. All right, coming up, we'll celebrate Record Store Day at Streetlight Records in San Jose. But first, we got to talk. You went on a road trip, Mr. Stephen Kirk. You went like way out of your way to find some vinyl.
Way out of my way. Almost to the edge of California. I took my son up to Humboldt, Cal Poly Humboldt, because that's where he's going to be going to college. And so we were there for a campus tour, and while we had a little downtime, we were checking out the rest of the town. And it's the tiny little town square with a bunch of tiny little cool shops and an awesome record store.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah. You got to check this out.
Same location since 1981. But I think we're kind of lucky too because we're isolated from a lot of the population base of California. We're kind of like an island out here behind the Redwood Curtain.
Right.
But we have just enough people for it to work. You couldn't have a store like this, say, in a town that was this small but without a college. Yeah, I think that this part of the country in particular has certain genre that maybe other parts of the country don't because of our proximity to the Bay Area. There's a lot of 60s psychedelic records that, if you go in the South, you're not going to find those. But likewise, if you go to the South, you'll see a lot of, blues and soul records that we don't see a whole lot here. Right. I haven't talked to a lot of record stores because, like I said, we're kind of isolated up here. But for us, and I imagine most record stores, COVID was great. Yeah. And the reason I say that is people were stuck at home, and they were getting government money, and they couldn't go out, so they were spending money on home entertainment. I always wanted a record player. Now I got this money, so I'm going to go buy a record player. And so, I definitely have new customers from it.
That is like one of the only COVID success stories that we've heard.
Funny enough, I do have a sign on our window warning people that there could be offensive images and lyrics in the store. And I did that because I've had issues with people coming in getting offended by, you're selling this artist, or why do you have this image? And
really?
Yeah, and it's crazy, but
it's a record store.
At the very least, I can say, we warned you. Because I've been here as long as I have, there's, a lot of causes, say, I support from, customers that I've developed friendships with over the years, and it's great when, someone who starts off as a customer can become a friend, and then you support their cause, they support your cause.
Right. That was a look inside People's Records in Arcata, California, up by Cal Poly Humboldt, where my kid's going to be going to school, and he's going to be going back to that place and buying some vinyl. I guarantee it.
Nice.
Yeah,
that place looks like
really
a
cool.
super cool place.
Yeah. And what a surprise.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Who knew? Well, now you know.
Yeah.
All right. So what about you? Favorite record store?
I got to go with the Record Store Man in Redwood City. It's a little hole in the wall spot, but dude, he's got walls upon walls of every record from every genre and every different era. It's great.
Yeah.
What about you, Joey?
Well, the Record Man's was always great.
Yeah.
It was like, and especially the dollar lot sale.
Yeah.
Oh my God, amazing, amazing. But I always remember the Record Exchange in Burlingame from back in the day.
Yeah.
That's where I'll get all my vinyl back then. That's where I got my Haircut 100. That's where I got my English Beat. That's where I got my Bad Manners. All the old cool, just 80s vinyl was from there. The place was epic.
Yeah.
From Pacifica all the way to Burlingame just to buy albums.
Love it.
Hey, come to social media. Let us know where your favorite places to get records are. Coming up, Dennis and Chasta are going to head out to Streetlight Records in San Jose. Then who's going to show up? Stay tuned and find out.
Your home is your biggest asset, and whether to sell or hold is a major decision. David Siplin will help you with the information to make the right call and assist with the sale of your property and the purchase of a new home. Contact David today for an in-person or remote appointment.
Please consider helping us continue our mission of lifting and supporting independent music by becoming a Soundwaves patron. In exchange, you'll be the first to see and hear all of our weekly shows, as well as exclusive content. Just go to patreon.com/SoundwavesTV.
Check out Soundwaves TV on all our social media accounts. Deleted scenes, extended interviews, the latest announcements, and official playlist. The Bay Area plays here. Hit us up everywhere at Soundwaves TV.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Soundwaves TV. Dennis, Willis, and Chasta, and somebody's already gone shopping at Streetlight Records.
I just started and I have 3 things in my hand already. This is not good news.
I'm running around with a camera, I'm producing, I'm waiting for this one here who's, how many fans have you met today?
Quite a few.
And you know what?
It's been amazing.
She doesn't want you to know this, but I'm going to tell you a little secret. So here we are, and we're setting up.
I'm hiding.
And somebody comes up and says, could I have your autograph, which is a very sweet thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then when I realized they weren't talking about me, and of course they're talking about her. But here's the funny part. You signed a Stevie Nicks album, like that Monster Belladonna
Did you
edition.
see my reaction? I was like,
yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because I don't deserve to. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not even being humble. Like,
That
that's
was
insane.
so cool.
I don't deserve to sign that. I signed it on the inside, the sleeve. It was Stevie Nicks in her gorgeous dress, and I signed over the dress. Is that like
That's
sacrilege?
an honor. No,
Okay.
that's quite an honor.
Okay.
If anybody wants me to sign any Huey Lewis albums
There
out
you
there,
go. Right.
I'm down.
He's
I'm down.
all
I'll bring the
yours.
shirt.
No, that was one of the coolest moments of my entire career. I'm not even kidding.
No, that was
Truly.
great. That
like,
was great.
I won't top it. We can leave now. No, I'm just kidding. Just got here.
Well, it's time to go shopping.
This is
so
getting
let's do that.
Yeah, it's getting heavy.
Cool.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm so excited. I'm like, whoo, look at everything. Like, it's so, oh my God, there's so much. I mean, Nirvana live at the Paramount. Yep, gonna pick that one up. Just saw Amy Winehouse over there. Oh, crap. A Tool box set? A Tool box set. This is my favorite of all time. The album Gish from Smashing Pumpkins. Cody was born to this. Like, legitimately, not on vinyl in the hospital. That would have been real dedication, but I mean, it was on my playlist, but you get the idea. This whole section, by the way, is like you could just live in here. Hey, Dennis, you want to just move in here? Oh, look at that jacket. Who's that? Holy crap, we know this guy. Come here. Nikki?
Hey, fancy meeting you.
Nikki from Crash Pilot. What's going on?
How's it going? How you
What are you looking at? Oh, Dio.
Of course.
Of course.
Gotta rock the Dio.
That wasn't even planned. Record store day. What did you come out to buy specifically?
The Addicts, some Dio, Black Sabbath, of course, and I've been hunting for some Rainbow, but I can't find any.
Ooh, I did see the Dio disc, the picture disc.
I saw that.
Yeah, yes, there it is. There it is. Da-da-da. Hey, guess what, everybody? We have DJ Bear here. Did you realize that? DJ Bear.
Hi.
Like, this is amazing. Out in the wild.
I know, at a record store going crazy.
He is a really bad influence on me, by the way. I'm trying to
Right.
save money. You do not save money on vinyl when you're with DJ Bear and Dennis Willis.
I'm not going to be saving money either. They have the 7-inch single, Another Queer Man, the Donna Summer, Barbara Streisand duet.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, the thing that's keeping me from buying it is 7-inch. It's not the full 8 minutes.
It's only 7
That's
inches.
heresy.
That's what she
Yeah.
said. Hey everyone, you're watching Soundwaves TV, our celebration for Record Store Day, and I'm here with Paige, who runs the awesome Streetlight Records in San Jose. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for letting us infiltrate your
Thank you so much for being here. We're excited because we get to share the excitement of Record Store Day with yet more people.
All right.
So it's great.
We
It's
walked
awesome.
in, it was buzzing. Everybody was looking at everything. Dennis and I immediately started fighting over 72 Seasons for Metallica. But then he had the wise vision that he was like, this is a double vinyl. We can make this work. I'm like, you're right. You're right.
We can share.
I know. Right? That's no fun.
I know, right?
So how did you get into this business? How long have you been here at Streetlight?
I have been working for Streetlight for 33 and a third years. Just
I love
celebrated my 33 and a third anniversary.
What did you do to celebrate?
You know, we just kind of made a big deal of it on social media.
Yeah.
But
did you have a cake with vinyl on it?
No, but that is a great idea.
Yeah.
We do celebrate milestone anniversaries like, 10, 15, 20. We had a 20th anniversary for one of the employees lately, and that does involve cake. Yes.
Okay, good. All right. They do have cake here at Streetlight. That's
we
great.
Do, yeah.
So you started 33 and a third years. I love that. I'm really sad right now that I missed my 33 and a third birthday, but 45 is around the corner.
Also a good, worthy celebration.
We'll go big on that one.
Yes.
How about that? So how is it working in this? I know you just went through hell with COVID, I'm sure.
That was tough, but I got to say, in the end, the COVID shutdown was actually ended up being good for our business because people were stuck at home and they were turning to DVDs and Blu-rays and records and CDs. A lot of people bought turntables during the shutdown.
I'm buying one today, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. True story. I really am. And apparently an Eddie mask. I saw my husband running around with that too. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting purchase today.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So people did that. They bought a lot of vinyl.
They bought a lot of vinyl. I mean, and you as a prime example here, if you sell somebody a turntable, they're going to need vinyl to put on it.
That's right.
That's what we're here for.
You always need more vinyl. I just found myself diving into the Rolling Stones section, and I was like, I think I have every one of these, but I could always use a fresh one.
Right?
Fresh
this looks like a really nice copy.
I know. It's so much different than the one I have at home. It's so funny because Pretty in Pink is one of my favorite movies of all time, and there's Record Store. It's a Record Store is the main character in that film, and when I walked in, it was playing on the TV, and I was like, oh my God, I'm home.
This is where you belong.
I know.
Yeah.
Clearly it is. So I have to know, somebody who runs a record store, what are your favorite bands?
Oh, I always have a hard time with this question.
I know.
But speaking of the Rolling Stones, I was ringing somebody up today and they had a copy of Let It Bleed. And I had to tell them that's my favorite Stones album of all time, except for when it switches over to Beggar's Banquet, but then it switches back to Let It Bleed.
Yeah.
So there's that. The sections that I take care of here are the roots ones, like country folk, bluegrass, blues, and classical more. Some of the sections I take care of because nobody else really wants to. But I love classical music.
They're your baby.
Too. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love jazz. I was also walking by the jazz section and the blues section.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I could get in real trouble. I was just in New Orleans at Preservation Hall. And buying vinyl
isn't it
from
the
there,
greatest?
right? I know, it's fantastic. We could talk this all day long.
I know. Yeah.
Thank you so much, truly, for letting us in.
Oh, our pleasure. Thank you so much for being here and for,
supporting.
Yeah, for telling everybody about Record Store Day. It's my favorite holiday.
Absolutely, as it should be. I would hope that it is. Record Store Day is all about celebrating our love of vinyl and supporting record stores. Make sure wherever you are, wherever in the world you're watching from, visit your record store. And if you're here in San Jose, you know where to be. This is the place to be.
Share the record love.
Streetlight Records.
Yeah.
You're watching Soundwaves TV. We'll be right back.
Right on. Streetlight Records.
Looks
That's
great, man.
Amazing, man. I love going to record stores. I haven't been in one in a while, but when I was a kid, that's what my whole childhood was filled with, just spending all my Saturday mornings and Saturday afternoons hanging out in record stores and stuff. Even when I had my little paper route money and stuff, it's all going to a record store somewhere,
Well, dude, after this episode, I think we all got to spend some more time in record stores. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, we've got a great mass debate coming up. You, my friend, you are awesome. When Morris gets to do a mass debate, man, you are in for a treat. This one here, we're taking a look at what artists.
I like my mass debate to last a long time.
See, I was going to just go ahead and but you learn something new about Morris in every episode. This next mass debate that's coming up, though, what artists crossed genres the best? This is a really good one.
Hey, do you want to watch Soundwaves TV on your big screen? Then head on over to the Roku channel store and download our free app, Soundwaves TV. You'll get every brand new episode and archives of every past season. Do it now. We've got your next party covered.
This portion of Soundwaves TV is sponsored by Longboard, the coolest hidden gem on the coast. A world-class music venue with a neighborhood vibe. Stop by for a drink or check out an awesome show. For more information, go to longboardbar.com.
Closed captioning for Soundwaves TV is brought to you by Green Room Music Center, featuring rock camp, music lessons, a drum shop, and rehearsal spaces for rent. For more information, go to greenroommusiccenter.com. And it's time to masturbate one more time.
We got more left in us.
I knew that was
Morris just finished up from the last one.
the question this round. We all love music. We all have our favorite artists. Artists tend to stay in their own lane. But what artist crossed genres the best?
Hootie.
You took mine. Yeah, Darius Rucker.
I know that's kind of silly, but honest to God, I remember I loved Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, I'm a 90s girl. So I loved them. And I remember the first time I heard a song and I was like, who is this? And somebody said, Darius Rucker. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Who? I don't know that. And they were like, Hootie. I'm like, Hootie? I mean, he does all so well. He's such a smooth operator. I love what he does. I love his swagger. You don't like him? DJ Bear doesn't like Hootie. I really think he does country well. And I remember it surprised me.
No, that was one of mine. It was like, because he just, his voice is so great as it is. Mm-hmm. So really, when it comes from, where he came from kind of like, I guess he was kind of, Hootie was kind of like pop. College rock. There you go. Yeah. And that took the country.
But he just slid right into country.
He
like
did. It was just, that's what I was like. Yeah, I was like, wait a second. That's Hootie.
Yeah.
I saw him on TV. I'm like, what's Hootie doing singing country?
Yeah.
It was pretty hilarious. But he pulls it off. He does it really well.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but Machine Gun Kelly.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
I was I know. Thanks, Huey. I gave Machine Gun Kelly a lot of crap, especially when he was making fun or, talking crap about Slipknot when they were performing at the same festival. But, he went from rap to basically pop punk, and he's kind of killing it. He was mentioned by Mick Jagger, saying that him and Youngblood are going to be the the new faces of like punk rock and stuff. And honestly, I kind of am drinking the juice on this, man. Like
I've drank the juice on Youngblood, but I'm not sure I have on Machine Gun Kelly.
I know it's. That's why I'm a little embarrassed to say it. I'm kind of digging the Machine Gun Kelly vibe a little bit.
Okay.
I'm more on Youngblood too because he's got some energy compared to Machine Gun Kelly, but he was dating Megan Fox, so I got to give him that.
Yeah.
So.
Morris, I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but go ahead anyway.
It might surprise you, actually.
Yeah.
1 minute we had, ow, because she's a brick.
Boom, boom.
House.
All right.
She's
Mate,
just let it all hang out. You went and bought the next record and it was Stuck on You.
Yeah.
Got a feeling down deep in my soul that it just can't lose. And that broke up the damn Commodores.
Yeah.
They're like, if you write one more damn country tune on a what's supposed to be another funk record, it's over.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it went down. I think that Lionel Richie is probably one of the greatest examples of someone who successfully kind of crossed over.
Right.
Because he was still doing his R&B thing. Mm-hmm. And then, Easy Like a Sunday Morning is like one of the last songs on that same album with Brick House.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they were like, okay, that's cool. But then he kept doing that. And now he's getting calls from Kenny Rogers.
Right.
And he's writing some hits for these guys. Mm-hmm. He starts writing stuff like that. And you got, Lionel Richie songs that are some of them being played on country radio.
Right.
It broke up the damn Commodores. Sorry to see him go. But there's a life to lead. So I think that
no shame.
I think that Lionel Richie is one of those guys, especially back in that era, that did it the best.
Yeah.
When it comes to crossing
that's
over.
a good one.
And I don't even think he meant to do that.
Right.
That's just where the inspiration was going for him, and he was good. He was good at it.
Steve?
Well, see, and that's part of it, the inspiration. If you're following what's inside, and this is the music you're making, that's great. And if you go back to like the mid '70s, where you had the guitar rock, a lot of that skewed country-ish, like Eagles and stuff like that back in the day. Yeah. But why is because country's come up a bunch of times already in this conversation, and that's actually where. Well, good. Maybe you can help me with this, Bear, because I want to know why is country kind of like the go-to when you're a rock star or you're a pop star, but you decide you want to do something different.
Arthritis,
you go country. But you got people.
Hey, I'm gonna push you off your stool.
No, but I want to know because you've got people like Bret Michaels, who you know with Poison and a great rock career kind of thing. Decided to go country. Didn't really work out.
Right.
The lead singer from Bowling for Soup just made a country album.
Did he really?
Yeah.
But how's that going? Sheryl Crow, right?
Right.
I mean, a very distinctive voice and everything, a great pop voice. Decided to go country. Didn't really work out.
Did Miley start country and go pop, or the other way around?
Miley is one of my
Same
many examples here, actually.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I was going to say the same thing with Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. So I'm surprised that Morris didn't mention the artist that started R&B, went soul, then went pop, then went rock, then went psychedelic, and then went hip hop. Prince.
Yeah, he's on my list. I don't want to take up the whole segment.
I mean, if you're talking about doing it effortlessly, he didn't really trip until he did the hip hop stuff. Like, he didn't really feel like he was not quite there until he got there. But he did everything else.
He really did,
effortlessly.
But when he got to the hip hop stuff, I mean, I hated it.
Yeah, it was trying to.
I don't want
that new Jack
Prince
stuff.
rapping.
Yeah,
Housequake?
That's not a rap. Everybody jump up and down. I love it. This brand. Okay, but that's it's when gangster rap came. I mean, two dudes did that almost at the same time. Prince really went in on a rap song at the same time. MC Hammer did that Too Legit to Quit thing. Doing the gangster rap. He was already doing the rap. That was cool, but then he felt like he needed to reinvent himself. So he's doing the video and the naked with the Speedo with gangster rap. Too Legit to Quit.
And he didn't take the hint. Then he did that funky headhunter thing after that.
Yeah, I'm like,
what are you? You're not. You are not like NWA. You know what I mean? No.
I'm like.
So the one that jumps out at me that I don't think anybody talks about as much is Blondie.
Oh.
So Blondie had hits. Blondie punk, pop, rock, disco, and had the first #1 rap song.
And rap.
Yeah.
The original female rapper is Blondie.
Yes. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. So really quick, before we run out of time, who did it the worst?
Oh, Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter. Oh.
Chris Gaines.
He's on my list. Exactly.
I was thinking that.
Garth Brooks.
Right.
Yeah.
What the hell was that all about?
You and I were thinking the same. Yeah.
We were on the same page.
Yeah.
It's just like,
What was that?
What was that? It's just like, you want to make a pop album, then do like Taylor and make a pop album. Don't come up with this
alter ego,
bizarro Garth Brooks, and it's like
bizarro Garth Brooks. That's great. I love that.
No, he really is like anti-Garth Brooks.
Yeah,
with like the goatee and stuff.
The soul patch.
Oh God.
Rod Stewart. That's
Rod Stewart, worst? Oh God.
Really?
Oh wow.
Okay. All right. I mean, once he got into crooner pop, that was pretty bad. But I was down with his disco stuff.
It was
Rod Stewart
successful
can do no
doing
wrong.
it. I just wasn't feeling any of that downtown train stuff on Rod Stewart.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Well, that's the thing. If you get into him at that point, if you get to a certain point and he's doing that crooner stuff and he's got the voice for it.
Yeah,
and
no, he
everything,
did it
that's
well.
fine.
He just wasn't.
But if you're used to, Rod.
Do you think I'm sexy?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great
Which
point.
was another
when
thing,
you get into
'cause-
an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. That affects the choice. Music from The Elder. Kiss.
We talked about this privately a bit.
Yeah. And what's funny about Garth Brooks doing Chris Gaines and Kiss doing music from The Elder is because they were both supposed to be movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the soundtracks flopped so bad they never made the movies.
Yeah, right. Not a good sign.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is why they went straight to Creatures of the Night. They're like, we got to make some noise on this next album, because otherwise it's done.
We're dead.
We're
That
opening
is done.
7-Elevens after this.
And that's part of it. Why are you doing it? If you're
Right.
doing it like Garth Brooks because you're trying to create this other thing just to do a thing.
Right.
If you're compelled to make a certain kind of music and you want to go down that road, go for it. don't burn the bridge behind you so you can't go back home
Well,
again.
I have to say, on the Garth Brooks front, he's from Oklahoma. And most people in Oklahoma who know about him, he was really a rock guy. Like in college, he was having garage party bands, and he was a rock guy.
Okay.
But country is I won't say it's easier or easiest to get into, but he felt like that path opened up for him. So he's like, all right, I'm all in. I'm country. And actually, Keith Urban will say that too in interviews. You know, he did a whole lot of things in Australia that weren't country. But when he came here, he was like, that's a path I could go down, and I'm seeing doors open. I'm going to take that path.
Yeah, but I mean, once you go in that door, though, can't you start bringing the rock into it and start
Well, I
dragging
think
your
Keith
audience
Urban
along?
has done
Yeah.
that. You know, he's done a lot of
definitely.
meshing of genres, and I think that's the way to do it best when
But
it's
the
authentic.
country audience is unforgiving when it comes to
Oh
that
my
stuff.
God! But when you go
Yeah.
Garth Brooks to
Yeah.
Chris Gaines is like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
that was just.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Wait, what?
Changing your identity.
Yeah, what is that?
I
There
mean,
are no games.
Losses, no games.
how many times have you heard hardcore country fans go, so and so turn their back on country?
Oh yeah.
You don't hear that about other genres, but
Oh,
the
no,
country people
no.
are like, no.
Rock is pretty unforgiving.
Oh.
Rock is more unforgiving if you like something that isn't rock. The rock fans will come for you. Yeah, right. That's a good point with
sure.
Blondie.
Well, see,
yeah.
I guess hip hop is a little more unforgiving because when Snoop Dogg went Snoop Lion, and then
Forgot
that
about that.
failed,
How long did
Yeah.
that last?
and they're like,
One music
Snoop
video, I
Dogg
think.
again.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. I had some good ass weed. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna go hang out with Martha Stewart now.
Yeah, that Snoop Lion, that was Martha's idea. That was
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
She cooked some brownies. They're really
idea.
good.
That's all that
Totally
was.
do this.
Oh boy.
1 minute. Wrap it up.
Who do we miss?
Who did we miss? Corey Taylor coming from the audience. Maybe Grace
Grace
Slick.
Okay. all
Did we
right.
talk about Taylor very much? Because I feel like Taylor really did a huge shift and did it really well. I mean, she was was coming up in country and doing it really well, and then she went into pop, and I mean, it exploded.
Pop even with a little bit of hip hop thrown in, too.
That's questionable.
I
But
mean-
I don't know how good that part is, but
just toe in the water and then back out.
Right,
you know?
yeah. She's Snoop Lion. Nope, that didn't work. We're gonna back right out of that.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. All right, so there you go. Social media. We want to hear what you think. Who did it best? Who did it worst? And did we miss anybody? We are done masturbating.
Yes, cigarette.
SoundwavesTV.com is your official home for Soundwaves merch. From coffee mugs to a variety of barware, hats, exclusive tees, and the exclusive Soundwaves Commemorative Challenge coin. Get all your shopping done at SoundwavesTV.com.
Hey everybody, please consider helping us continue our mission of lifting and supporting independent music by becoming a Soundwaves patron. In exchange, you'll be the first to see and hear all of our weekly shows, as well as exclusive content. Just go to patreon.com/SoundwavesTV.
The official Soundwaves beer, Into the Groove, is available on tap and in cans at Devil's Canyon Brewing Company in San Carlos. From beer Fridays to live performances, a tasting room, and a beer garden, your next party is at Devil's Canyon.
Hey everyone, you're watching Soundwaves TV. Here we are in the final stretch of a really cool episode. Us kind of just blurting out all of our love for the vinyl in our lives.
Yeah.
So boys, what do you have? What do you bring into the table, quite
Well,
literally?
there's, it's like my vinyl unfortunately was buried, so I couldn't really bring it. But
You're in
it's
a
just
renovation,
like,
yeah.
exactly. But there's like so many things in there, like, and I've got like, back from the 80s and, from the 90s and, from later, it's like one of my favorite live albums was Jerry Garcia, How Sweet It Is.
Of course. No one's surprised to hear that.
Yeah, love that album. It's so good. A lot of the Grateful Dead didn't they did some live albums, but most of what you hear from the Dead live is recordings that were recorded, in the show. So every once in a while you get something, like that was from the soundboard or everything. But yeah, that Jerry Garcia one was just classic, just great. But mine really jumps around. So it's like it goes from there to like I remember my Haircut 100 album that I got.
Yeah.
I love that album. And then it goes to like The Chronic.
Oh yeah,
the Chronic. Classic album.
Absolutely.
Classic album.
Yeah.
Love that album. But one that I saw Dennis had here was Talking Heads. This is just one of the greatest albums. It's just so many good things on this thing. It's like, you could listen to this from front to back, back to front.
Sounds amazing.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that's
it
not
does.
even the remaster. That's like vintage 1984. It sounds so good.
Yeah, I bet. It's like, most of the time when I hear it, it's like all MP3s and everything. So I'm like, sure, it sounds like crap. So I can't, I'm going to have to borrow this when I get the turntable back together.
Now we're trading vinyl. Yeah. We need like a Soundwaves vinyl library where we check each other's vinyl out.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be fun?
We could do that. Yeah,
I love that idea.
Soundwaves Vinyl Club.
Yeah.
$1 million app.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
My story of vinyl is kind of more of a story of inheritance. So
because you're the youngest one.
Here we go again. He's the youngest one in the group. We know.
That's a new T-shirt. I'm the youngest.
You know what an album is?
Thanks. No, so I got in the vinyl sort of through my dad. First of all, the first ever vinyl that I got was at a record store signing at Tower Records, rest in peace, when CKY came out with their second big album. But and they signed it, but unfortunately, I did not realize that vinyl does not like heat that well, and I accidentally left it in my car, and it got all warped and destroyed. But then fast forward,
you are a youngin'.
Yes, I had an unfortunate incident like that.
But fast forward to I want to say a few years ago, and I was talking to my dad. I was like, "Hey, I inherited my grandfather's record player," and I was like, "Hey, I only got a couple albums, which this one right here, Andrew WK's "I Get Wet."
Your grandpa owned that?
No.
I'm kidding. Like, wow, you had a pimp ass grandpa.
No.
You got game.
I know, right?
No,
I'm impressed.
I actually got. Thank you, Steve. I actually got this album on my way out from my old college radio station, KSJS. Of course, being in the '90s, mid-'90s, when CDs were more prominent. Of course, I had the CD, but when I saw this, I'm like, I have to have this, because Andrew WK. This album was just made this was my high school, my personality from high school to college, and it's just an incredible
He's
album.
the party guy. You're the party guy.
He really is.
Yeah, that's cool.
But with my dad's albums that I inherited from him, he's like, go ahead, take them. Is a lot of the stuff that I was raised on. So a lot of Foreigner, which actually you have the original number one, the first album from Foreigner.
Wow.
And also just a bunch of Leonard Skinner, Led Zeppelin, and then I was like, okay, I gotta start buying my own. So it was 2018, and I was like, you know what, I gotta get ready for my wedding, which you were there.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And I definitely, I'm pulling a you right now because I'm about to start tearing up.
I know.
Had to go to the record man in Redwood City, right there near my home, in my hometown. I had to get this album, Dean Martin's "Everybody Loves Somebody." Now, not only is "Everybody Loves Somebody" my wedding song with me and my wife, which coincidentally they played a different version to which off of this one, but growing up, with a very Italian family, always played Dean Martin, and this reminds me of my Nana. Yeah. So it's nice to have something like this.
Oh yeah.
Just like it's CDs are great. MP3s are you can't lose them unless get a virus. But this is kind of like a connection to analog, to where sound first was created and was being able to be given to people because it's right there. So that's
and you're right. Can't be deleted. Can't be.
That's right.
It is what it is.
Just don't leave them in your car in the sun.
And I feel a personal responsibility to everything you just said. Everything that embodied that moment is what I want my son Cody to understand.
Oh yeah, my Jack's gonna get my albums.
Oh, absolutely. We have hundreds.
When I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I'm done with them, not dead.
Right. I know, right? Clarify.
I know. Whatever comes first.
Yeah.
This one, you're gonna be buried.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna Yeah, but
box set.
this
Damn.
is what we started Cody with. So this was bought by Sister Sid, as we call her. She's like an adopted daughter. She got this for Cody, but really she got it for the whole family because this is our favorite movie. We know every word to every song. I mean, Tim Burton is a god. Danny Elfman is, my hero.
Saw him live, too.
Yeah, I saw him live. Cody got to see him live, and he was like 4.5. So anyways, Cody loves this, and for him to start his vinyl obsession with this album in particular.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh, all the feels.
Yeah.
I just one day we'll get it signed by Danny Elfman and Tim Burton. I promise you.
There you
it'll
go.
happen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just to bring it home, I love collecting cool, goofy stuff.
Yeah.
And if I love something, then I'm going to look for all things around that. Like if I love a movie, I want the poster, and I want the lobby card, and I want the soundtrack, and I want all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I started looking around just for stuff and fun stuff and like my favorite bands and stuff like that. And so one of the things that's kind of cool is if you go to eBay and even something during the CD era, a radio station might have got a vinyl for it.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of promotional 45s.
Sure,
and
I have a lot of that stuff.
It's
Yeah,
great.
totally.
It's great. So part of my collection, because I'm a big Huey Lewis fan, is the Hip to Be Square 45 that came in multiple colors and everything. So I'm like,
so
that's just too
cool.
cool. That's like better than a picture disc. So
That is really
not sold
cool.
in stores, but eBay is your friend. Not that I'm hawking. It's just like the crazy crap out there that you have no idea that was made, shipped, and somebody has in their garage. And you're like, that exists?
Yeah.
So like if you're a collector just looking for goofy, cool stuff on vinyl, it's out there.
Oh.
It's insane.
You've
I love
inspired
it.
me. When we get done today, that's exactly
yeah.
what I'm doing. That's so cool. Yeah, Disc Hawk.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of which, I think it's time to wrap things up. Send it back. We got one more video. We're going to send it to Mr. Morris Knight. Take it away.
It's a mother. No.
Yep, that.
Oh my goodness, I love talking about record stores, and talking about other places that you can get great stuff that's hard to find. You can't always get to a record store. Dennis was just talking about, eBay. I love eBay as well. I found some wonderful gems there. Also, Discogs. Discogs.com is another one. Nope, no affiliation. I just know I found some really, really cool stuff there. So, hey, you know what? We're going to take it out with just one more for Soundwaves episode. This one here from this awesome Bay Area band. These guys are the Seagulls. Yep. I just checked out their video. Awesome stuff right there. I mean, it really goes from like kind of a rockabilly punk thing to almost like a psychedelic kind of craziness. It's hard for me to describe, but I love all the eye candy that I see that matches up with all the ear candy. And I love when those two kind of things come together. I'm so proud these guys are also from the Bay Area representing. Check this out. Sunday afternoon drinking on Soundwaves TV. Peace out, y'all.
Rolling to the night. Sunday afternoon drinking. Sunday afternoon drinking. Sunday afternoon.
And that about does it on our awesome record store vinyl edition. I'm just going to take all these home and listen to them.
No, I'm taking them home and listening to them. We're going to fight over them.
No, you know what? We're going to start our little checkout system, our little vinyl club.
I love
That's
that.
happening as soon as we roll
A
credits.
listening party at Dennis's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Share with the neighbors.
Yeah.
Hey, just wanted to let everybody know, one of our favorite places in the entire universe is the Longboard Bar, and they have a couple of issues, and we're trying to help them with that. So on the 29th, Soundwaves is presenting a fundraiser for the Longboard Bar, coming out and hear killer tribute bands all day into the night. It's going to be a blast, and all the money goes to your and our favorite place to hang out and watch music.
That's
So,
our family spot.
yeah, that's awesome.
We got to do
Totally.
what we can.
Got to help them.
Looking forward to it.
All right. I think that about does it.
It does about does it. Easy for you to say.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Take us out, Bob.
We're wrapping up the show this week. Rick Harden is going to be doing the weather. Check this out, and we will see you next time on Soundwaves TV. Cheers.
Cheers.
Over me is all you say. The weather is over me. I'm not coming in today. How long will I wait? How long? Waste the hours in the day. Yeah, I've been addicted. I've been free. There is nothing in between. There is nothing. On your TV show, I was speaking strong, I was talking low, I was whispering things, my darling. You should know I've never been good at goodbye. That might be the only reason why. How long will I wait? How long? Waste the hours in the day. Yeah, I know I've been addicted, I've been free. There is nothing in between. Just the days gone. nothing